Welcome to another episode of My Trucking Life, Truth, Trucking, and Tribulations from the Trucker's Table, episode number 17. And you're probably asking yourself, Triple T, why do you have a Shell's hat on your head? Well, we're fixing to do Cooking with Rob. No, I'm just joking. This is a belated birthday present from my wife that she had ordered, and it didn't come in the mail until like this last time while I was home. It comes with an apron too, but I didn't wear the apron. Anyway, I just did that. A little bit of comic relief, but I thought that was pretty funny. I got some friends that'll love that, or Cowboys fans like me. So, of course, a few of you out there probably not going to like it. But anyway, we're back at the house. We've been out for like 2 or 3 weeks, and a lot of stuff going on with the truck getting fixed. A lot of stuff in general just going on, you know. I had some issues. What was it? I want to say it was, I can't remember now. It was either Wednesday or it was one day this past week. When I was up in Walcott, Iowa, and I went to put some antifreeze in my truck. You know, I told you about it if you watched some of my videos, and I sprained my back. So I've been home for the last couple of days trying to recuperate my back and everything and get it feeling better. And the first 24 hours at the house was murder. But the last 12 hours has been a lot better. And here, I'll pick this up so you can see. If you look in the backyard, I got all that mowed. Did all the weed eating around the fence line back there. And even mowed further back in there, around in there, with the mow and everything. Pool's looking pretty good. Yeah. So, got some stuff done. Even with a bad back, I was still able to get some stuff done. Get out there on the mower and do some stuff, do some weed eating, because my back got a lot better. I put heat patches on it, and it's been doing better. Not overdoing it though, not lifting any heavy stuff or anything like that. And we're supposed to be leaving out in the morning, and we got a bunch of trips planned. That'll keep us running all the way through Friday. So that's the plan right now. So. But anyway, I wanted to talk about, in this episode, what happened that led me back to Landstar, and some things that happened along the way. As you know, I had the bad wreck. That's why I came off the road. And in the last episode, we talked about us buying this house and everything here. This wonderful place. I love it. It's like my dream home. You know, it's way out in the country, away from other people. And a lot of privacy, and I love it. But we almost didn't get to keep the house because we almost didn't make our first mortgage payment. Like I said, we got the house around my birthday, right? And I was driving for this company called Hackbarth, delivering pharmaceuticals. And I would take a load of mixed pharmaceutical stuff from 2 different companies. One company was Cardinal, the other company was called McKesson, and it would be a mixture of the 2 companies, and I would take a tractor-trailer load of them over to Pensacola, and then they would disperse them from the warehouse there, and they would go into vans, and the vans would deliver them all the way over to like Ponce de Leon, Funiac, over in that way, all the way back over to Mobile, all over South Alabama over there in that area. So, that's what I was doing, you know. And it's a very serious thing when you're hauling pharmaceuticals. You know, you have to pass background checks. There's certain rules you have to follow, things you have to do. The security at the warehouses is really tight. You know, people being monitored and all this stuff. Surveillance cameras, all this stuff is always in full effect. So, anyway, the 2 trailers come in from Lakeland, and one of the guys driving a forklift, he unloads one trailer, loads some of it onto my trailer to make a full trailer because it's mixing the 2 together. And at the same time, there's a guy there from Albany, Georgia, coming to pick up a load in a straight body truck. And he gets some of the stuff too, you know. But mine gets priority because I have to be over in Pensacola by a certain time. Plus, I'm hauling from one Hackbarth facility in Tallahassee to another Hackbarth facility in Pensacola. So we get priority over his company, which is not a Hackbarth company. So anyway, he's unloading my stuff, putting it on my trailer, And so the one guy tells him trying to tell him how to load my trailer. He's like, get this pallet, put it over there. And I was like, no, I don't want to do it that way. I want the tallest towards the front and have it layered coming back down. You don't want one tall one and then a short one in front of it, and we put on brakes, it all falls over. I mean, I've been doing this a long time. I know how I want my trailer loaded. You know, it ain't your place to tell him how to load my trailer. So anyway, I told him, I said, hey man, I said, and this is exactly what I said. I said, hey man, I said, let me tell him how to load my trailer, and you can tell him how to load your truck. That's all I said. Just like that. I didn't cuss. I didn't raise my voice or anything. I was just trying to get him to listen to me. Hey, let me load my trailer the way I want it loaded. And he went off. He just went off. Like I had cussed him out or something. And he jumps down off the ramp. And he's charging towards me, hollering he's going to whoop my ass. Some guys grab him and holding him back. And I'm looking at him like, what the hell, man? What's wrong? I said, all I asked you was to please let me load my truck the way I want it loaded. Because it's none of his business how my truck is loaded. And so every bit of it is my business because I'm the one driving the truck. So I left the dock. I just got down off the dock and walked up to the cab of the truck, give him a second to cool down. And I thought, well, when I walk back there to that trailer, if he's still going to raise heck and try to fight me, what's going to happen? They're going to call the police. Police get there, first thing they're going to ask for is your driver's license, ID, and all that stuff. So anyway, I just went ahead and grabbed my wallet and put it in my pocket. Didn't think anything about it, you know. And I was wearing baggy FSU shorts like I'm wearing now. And so I had that big trifold wallet. I think it's about like this, like a Big Mac or something. It's so big. And because I got a bunch of cards and stuff like that in it, business cards, everything's a lot of stuff in it. So not money, trust me. Anyway, so I had that in my front pants pocket because I don't have back pockets on my shorts, you know. And so I climbed back on the dock, and not him, but somebody else yelled, "He's got a gun." I looked around. Are they talking about me? And then the guy hollers out, "Go call the police." And I'm like, are they talking about me? So this is what I said. I said, look, I ain't got no gun, but if I did have a gun, they're not going to do anything to me. I have a concealed carry permit. That's what I said. So somebody else said, well, that's okay, we got one too, or something like that, a gun or something. Anyway, so finally they held him back. He went off to the side. They finished loading my truck, and I left. And I never did pull my wallet out to show them, you know, because nobody asked. And asked me to show them. So I just let them assume I had a gun. I didn't say I didn't have one. All I said was if I did have one, I would, you know, they couldn't do anything. I had a concealed carry permit. Although the company regulations probably would prohibit me having a gun on the premises. So I didn't carry a gun on the premises, of course. But so I get over to Pensacola, and I drive the forklift over there. I unload the trailer myself, and then I reload the empty totes back on the trailer. So I get about halfway unloading the trailer, and I get a phone call from Bob. He's the supervisor. And he goes, "What happened over here this morning?" I said, "What are you talking about?" I said, what's his name? I forgot the guy's name now. I said, he went off on me because I told him not to tell what's his name how to load my trailer. I forgot the guy's name now. And they said you had a gun. You was threatening people. I said, what? I said, I didn't threaten nobody. And I dang sure didn't have a gun. I said, you know, you can search the truck. You can search me. I ain't got no gun. I said, they could have done the same thing and saw I didn't have a gun. Now I remember who it was. It was the other guy that drove the Cardinal truck. He's the one that they said had a gun. It wasn't me. He had a gun, but they never did inquire about it, you know, say anything to him about it because he wasn't involved in all this. But anyway, so I get back over there, and I said, here, man, I said, search my bag, search the truck, search wherever you want. I said, I don't have a gun. I said, there never was a gun. I said, this is what they saw. And I held up my wallet. I said, this is what they saw, just like this, in my pants. I said, I didn't have a gun. I said, they just assumed I had a gun, and I didn't tell them otherwise. So what do? There's cameras everywhere. They go back, they get the video surveillance, and they look at it. They see me go to the truck. They see me come back from the truck. They never see a gun because there is no gun. They never hear me threaten anybody with a gun or threaten anybody, period. So I had to write up a report about it and everything. And so I wrote up exactly what happened. And about a week later, when I got there, he told me, he said, come here, man. He said, I got to let you go. He said, I'm not firing you. Don't get me wrong. It's not me firing you. And he handed me a letter. It was from the CEO of the company, or general manager, whoever it is, over in Mobile, where the company's based out of. He had to fire me because my supervisor here in Tallahassee refused to fire me. He said, I'm not firing him for something he didn't do. And there's video evidence that he didn't do it. And then the regional supervisor in this area over here said the same thing. I'm not firing a guy for something he didn't do wrong. And so they both refused to fire me. And so they sent a letter over from corporate with them terminating me because the people I worked with knew I had done nothing wrong. And I tried to find a lawyer that would take the case. I couldn't find a lawyer that would take the case, you know. So I don't know if politics had anything to do with it. I don't see how it could, but I just don't know. That was one of the craziest things. I mean, you know, I'm trying to think. I've been fired from a job before, and I guess you could say they had reason to fire me after what I said, you know. Because this one time I was working as a cook in a cafeteria in the hospital in Jackson County, Florida. And the guy that was in charge back there had promised me when I took the job that after a few months he was going to work me in, and I was going to be the head cook and also in charge of purchasing and ordering food and everything there. You know, I forgot what the position was called now, but anyway, he never followed through on that, and because the woman he had doing it, she was a disaster when it come to ordering stuff. She never ordered the right stuff, enough stuff, or anything else, and they were losing a lot of money because of her. So he, with all my military experience in that field, he was going to move me into her position and move her back a little bit so she'd have more time for her family and stuff. And because she had a teenage daughter that was a handful, and she was missing a lot of work. But one day he called me in the office, and he said, somebody said they saw you were asleep in the pot sink. There's this big, huge sink that you wash the dishes in. First of all, my fat butt wouldn't fit in no pot sink. Second of all, there's hot scalding water in the pot sink. How do you sleep? I looked at him. I said, what are you? I said, are you hearing what you're saying? It don't even make sense. How can someone be asleep in a pot sink full of hot water? I said, I had my elbows propped on it when I was washing the dishes, leaned over, but I was not asleep. I was washing dishes. And it was just crazy. It was ludicrous. What it was he was trying to get me out of there because he couldn't follow through on his promise he made. And so he called the girl in there. I guess she was the supervisor in charge or whatever. So I told her what he told me about her and about him wanting to put her out. Oh, that's a lie. I didn't say it. And I went off on him. I called him a few names, a clown and stuff. But so I guess I deserved that firing. And then there was one other one. I got fired from my first job out of high school. I had slept through my shift because the power went off and reset my alarm clock, and so I didn't wake up, and I just slept right through my shift. And I woke up and called in, and they said, just come in the next day, and I did. And of course, they wanted to fire me. And the guy that wanted to get rid of me, he was trying to cut out a lot of the people that had been there a while from before he came in there. So I was just next one on the chopping block that was going to go out. I mean, that was the first time I'd ever missed any work, period. I never called in sick, never missed a day of work, never was late or anything that one time. Anyway, he wore a toupee, so I kind of called him a clown, and everybody was laughing at him for wearing a toupee. And so, I mean, I've been fired a couple of times, maybe deservedly, maybe not, but this one definitely not. And we had just bought the house, had not even made the first mortgage payment, and so I had to figure something out. You know, lucky for me, I had money in my 401k, and I was able to cash out some of that money and use it to make our mortgage payment until I could find us another job. And so it was looking rough. I mean, like, I couldn't find nothing. And I called up MSJ, company I used to work for, but now it's Buddy Moore Trucking, you know. And so I called them, and they're like, "Yeah, come on back. We'll take, you know, we got a truck for you." So I was getting ready to go over there and go back to work for Buddy Moore Trucking when I get a phone call about another job. And it was a pretty good job. And I'll tell you all about it in our next episode of My Trucking Life: Truth, Trucking, and Tribulations from the Trucker's Table.